Hey guys, it's time for an update. We want to make sure we tell you about our geothermal and the continuing saga there. Before I get to that, I want to tell you a little bit about some upcoming events we have. First thing I want to tell you about is the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. It's an absolutely huge show devoted to agriculture here in the Midwest. This show is from February 13th to 16th. I think we'll be there each day except for the 13th. The show is free, so you can come as go as you wish. There will be a lot of folks from greentractortalk.com there. We get together there each year. The group is growing year to year, so we have a lot of fun during that time. If you have any interest in agriculture, you'll see the big equipment there. Now you'll also see the small equipment. You'll see more brands of subcompact and compact tractors there than anywhere else I've ever been. I think I counted somewhere between 12 and 14 brands of compact tractor. You can get all over them, get under them, look in them. You can get your eyes totally full of compact tractor at this event. As it gets closer to the event, we'll set up some specific times that we will be available to meet with you. Most likely those meetings will be near the John Deere booth. John Deere has a huge booth at this show. Okay, we have another event coming up that we should talk to just a small segment of our viewers about. We're going to be traveling to the Netherlands to meet Katriel very soon. For our viewers that are in the Netherlands, we need to have some feedback as to whether you might be interested in getting together for dinner. If so, leave a message here in the comments, leave a message on Facebook. Anywhere is fine. We just need to know if there is interest, and we'll try to organize some sort of an evening meal together. Now let's talk about our geothermal. Well, I'm not too excited about talking about our geothermal. It keeps getting worse. Well, hopefully it'll get better soon. I showed you the financial model earlier of how much we were going to invest. Later then I told you about how we were unable to dig the trench. We had to add some boring to that. We don't have video of the boring. I'm sorry about that. These sticks that you see are the ends of each of the loops. The boring tool would run out under these sticks, and just beyond it here, you'll see where it came out of the ground. Then they hooked the pipe to it and pulled it right back down through that same hole. Didn't disturb the yard much. After the boring was done, and they had the loop all ready to go, they brought in the system. The system install was just like any other system install, with one exception. We had this extra water tank that holds the lukewarm or semi-warm water generated by the geothermal. That water then is fed into the on-demand heater. This presented a challenge for us. The plumber that we had come in and put the on-demand heater and install the plumbing to the holding tank, well, he was the one contractor that we didn't have very good luck with. He charged us a huge amount of money for what didn't seem like that difficult to work, and quite frankly, he wasn't very pleasant to work with either. You know, you always have that situation when you have several contractors in, and we just had to deal with that. Other than this plumber, we've had tremendous interaction with the other contractors. Even though things haven't gone perfectly, we could not be more pleased with how they've been. I mean, they've just been great to work with. So the boring added additional cost, and then we found out that there was one pump that hadn't been priced into the system. That added a little bit more cost, maybe another $600 or $800. Now that the boring is complete, let's take a look at some of the system install and configuration that happens. Once that's all done, we'll get back to you with the real challenge that we're facing now. So you've got the pump, you put it there in that little closet, right? And that's pumping to the loop outside, right?
Right.
And then what are you, is this what you're pumping in there?
It's a flush cart. So we had a garden hose hooked up outside to a pump that has our methanol solution in it. That just gets the air come back through here at the beginning, and then finally it gets all the air and starts recirculating the methanol solution.
Okay, so is it's just methanol and water, or is it methanol and...
Yeah, it's just a methanol mix. 20% methanol mix.
And how long are you just gonna like let this pump for a while?
Yeah, we usually let it pump for about an hour.
Okay.
Make sure all the air gets pushed through there.
So this is going through all of the loops that are outside?
Yes, in the system now. There's different valves on that pump in there where you can just run the loop itself, the system itself, or both. Just an easier way to make sure all the air is getting out of it.
Now, you're using your pump here though, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and then
this pump's a lot bigger than that, so that's actually pumping probably about 8 times 8 to 10 times more than what that little pump would.
So, but in there, that's the pump we're going to use.
That's the pump you're going to use.
Does it pump all the time or just when the system's running?
Just when the system's running.
So you'll just pump it up manually here and then it'll drop back down? You'll do it again?
A little bit, yep.
How long do you do that?
Just a couple times. And like, that'll probably go down to like 45. We just let it.
So why is it going down? Because the pipes are expanding?
Everything's expanding. By the time I get everything shut off in here.
Our setup, we can go and see what we've got. You see them speed set up, the cooling airflow set up, the HP. So we got domestic hot water is enabled. But we've got it set for 130. If we wanted to change that, we can go from 100 to 140.
Tim, you said you thought you might want it to higher. Do you want to leave it there for now?
130 is great.
What are we doing here? Is this coming off of a storage tank or what?
It is. You have storage tanks over here behind the refrigerator.
Okay.
So the water plumbs over, hits the storage tank, and then the superheater comes out the top and bottom.
And then you're going to come out of this storage tank and go into this, right?
Yes.
The thing I told Steph is to make sure with the manufacturer that it'll accept, some of them won't accept hot water coming into them. So you just have to look at the instructions or call them and make sure 130 degrees is all right for it.
Okay.
If it's not, we can set it down to 100. I think 100 is the lowest we can go.
Well, that one's made out of gold, so it ought to be able to do that.
That's a platinum one.
But that has been an issue with some of them.
Have you ever seen the superheater feed the tankless?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's first setup.
We've done it a lot. We've done it a lot. Okay, we do have the operating energy here. We want to set what our voltage is, the line voltage.
Okay.
So you're going to want to take a line voltage incoming voltage reading.
So this tool right here, only the HVAC team has access to. But that's not quite true. Since I got this wireless box that goes with it, if I'll connect directly to that wireless network, I'll be able to see all this on my phone. So that way when it's not working, I can just call these guys and they can walk me through and say, hey, look at this figure, look at that figure. And it'll save me about $12.
Give or take, depending on the problem.
Yeah, let's get that loop turned on, man. I'm going broke.
You hearing the chain sounds in your head?
I am.
We'll be able to get some funny there. Check it over? Okay.
Oh, I like hearing that. So it was saying it was using 9,000 watts. They're just testing it, so they've got it on emergency heat. 9223 watts just on the auxiliary heat. That's a lot more than even our little space heaters we were using. It's still using some auxiliary heat, but that's probably because we got it turned too high. So he's got it set back down to 71 now, so it won't be long. Mark, do you guys sell a lot of these systems now, or is this kind of a fad that's dying off? What do you think?
Geothermal's been really gaining in popularity over the last 10 years. With higher fuel prices and higher electric prices, geothermal, where you're getting, most of your energy from the earth, from the loop. It's just really, especially new construction, but like yours is a retrofit from gas to geo. That's pretty popular.
Okay, but new construction, you're doing even more of them.
Yeah, because it's a startup, so your cost is involved into the mortgage for over 30 years.
Yeah,
so
and it's probably easier to dig it before the grass.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You don't tear the yard up and all that good stuff. I haven't seen where your loop's at yet, but they probably tore it up pretty good.
Well, they started, but then the trenches fell in and they had to bore it.
Oh, did they bore it?
The bore is not a problem at all, right?
Right. Yeah. That's what we do a lot of on new construction, or existing homes.
Okay.
And we're starting to do a lot on new construction too, because it seems like they always pile all the bricks or the building materials right where the loop needs to go. So you can just go right under it. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
With a 30% federal tax credit through the year 2021, it seems to be real popular.
Okay.
Then we're tying a lot of it in with solar too.
Okay.
And getting a completely renewable energy house.
Okay.
Because if we can power that compressor, that fan, and the loop pump from the solar panels, we can run it all off renewable.
So roughly, how much would it cost me to put in enough solar to take care of my house?
You're probably talking, somewhere in the 20,000 plus range. So it's not necessarily a good payback, But a lot of people just want to be off the grid and totally
Now,
renewable.
and then that's got a 30% tax credit
Yes,
too, right?
yes.
Now, is that
Solar panel.
20,000 before the 30%? Or
That
is
would be before. It could be a little bit less or more, just depending on how we do it. A lot of people are just putting enough solar in to run their heating system,
Yeah.
not the whole house. That way they can be a little bit more energy conscious and keep the cost
Now, is
down.
that something I could do myself? Could I put my own solar
You
in?
could. It's not rocket science, but I mean, somebody like you could probably do it. You just got to know.
I think he just gave me a compliment there. I don't know.
You know, you got to know the electronics part of it and sizing part of it.
So, Mark, you're the distributor for these water furnace units, right?
Right.
So, have you seen a lot of energy savings with them? I mean, do they really
Oh,
save a lot?
absolutely. Just what we calculate them to be is on the energy analysis, they normally hit right on. You're only spending a quarter of what you would. The rest of the energy's coming from the earth.
Okay. And actually, we saw that
Just now.
because we were using 10 kilowatts when we were on emergency heat,
Right.
and we were using 2 kilowatts when we were
That's right.
on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we saw that.
We're getting the rest of that, and we're still putting out the same BTUs, so we're getting the rest of it free out of the earth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Free.
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 Renewable. Free renewable energy.
I don't know how free it's been for me. Maybe it's free for you, but it hasn't been so free.
Well, that energy that you're getting free is going to you. It's just the initial outlay to get to that point.
Yeah. This has been a lot of work doing the installation. I mean, there's a lot of complexity to the installation. It's been multiple teams involved, so that part's been a little bit of a challenge.
Right, right. Especially when you're not used to that, and in the moving process also.
Yeah.
So get everything together, and then getting you changed the water heater too. So
We did?
We went to a preheat tank. The geothermal's heating the water in the preheat tank, and then feeding the instant water heater.
Right.
So we're not losing, and we're gaining all that geothermal heat before we heat it with the instant water heater. And that's a propane too, right?
So do you think that we'll see any benefit on the water heater during the winter?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
We're still. This will be putting hot water in there until it goes into what they call third stage. So when the temperature drops, before you go into emergent or electric heat, it's going to shut off the superheater, so all the heat's going in the house.
Well, folks, we'll continue to let you know what kind of energy use we see, because with this application we can actually show graphs of it. It's really neat, isn't it, Mark?
Right. Yeah, you'll be able to see all the usage there.
So we don't really know what this is going to turn out to be when it comes to the monthly bills, but Mark here assures us it's going to be pretty good.
You're going to be very happy.
Thanks, Mark. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd shake
Thanks
your
for
hand
another
on it.
geothermal customer. Happy customer.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so at this point, they turned the system on, and we thought we were good to go. We felt some warmth, and we were certain that we had a working system. But before we could get started celebrating, we realized that the auxiliary heat, or the electric backup heat, was on almost all the time. We also realized that one end of the house had almost no airflow. In fact, no airflow at all. Behind me here in the far bedrooms of the house, it was cold. Maybe even colder than it was when we were using our space heaters. We had the HVAC team come back out and do a check, and sure enough, our ductwork is entirely insufficient and installed improperly to service this house. So another $3,500 or $4,000 should hopefully get our ductwork going. And yes, that is still not done. So the expenses keep piling up, the weather keeps getting colder, and we still don't have effective heat. It's been an adventure that no one wants to encounter when they're moving, but sometimes that's just the way it is. We've survived it, and hopefully it'll all be resolved soon. So anyway, that's our update. I hope you've enjoyed it. I wish that spring would come soon. Let us know in the comments if you're interested in going to the National Farm Machinery Show, or if you're interested in meeting up while we're in the Netherlands. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
I wish the HVAC system would work as well as Johnny.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a Johnny attachment that would be a good heating system for a house. Maybe we could just back Johnny up and hook it to his PTO system.